It's Friday. That means recap day. In this video, I'm going to go over what we've made this week and what our plans are for next week. My name's Isaiah, and let's jump right in. So the first thing, as you probably saw in the thumbnail, we made $754 this week selling options and collecting some dividends. Before I show you my history, let me show you what we have open. As you can see, we have a ton of option contracts open. Like I said, the whole purpose of this account, I say it every video, is to generate income to invest in myself. So occasionally, you will see my amount that I'm investing decrease. I take from this account and invest in myself. Like I told you, I took $1,500 from it and did the real estate exam and course, things like that. I'm going to take, I think it's $1,800 from here and learn the coding course. I believe that we should learn as much as we can and invest in ourselves so that we can generate income from multiple sources. So I like to sell options, to collect income, to invest in myself so I can retire today, not in 2070. So first, let's jump into our history just so you can see transparency. So give me one. As you can see, here's our history, our options here. When you see that short put roll, that means I decided to roll a position farther out because maybe I didn't want to buy the position yet, or maybe I didn't want to sell the position, depending if it was a call or a put. As you can see, we'll go through 3-8 the whole way up. Here's the options we've collected in this week. Let's look at the dividends here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stocks paying dividends this week. And I'm going to show you in my Excel file so you can see an easier breakdown of what we've done. I just like to show you the history so you can see full transparency, and there's no, I want you to have access to everything I'm doing so you don't think I'm making anything up. I want everyone to have full availability of the trades and give yourself some ideas on what I'm using. Always remember, my trades are my opinions, though. So let's go back here before I show you our Excel file and what we've brought in this week. One of my Fiverr students brought up a great idea, and I'm going to touch on a couple different ones throughout my next few videos. But the first thing, when do I decide to roll an option, and what does that look like? So next week we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's see, 3 and then 2 there, 5, 7. 8, 9, 10, there's 3 there, 13, 14. So we have 14 contracts expiring next Friday. I don't know if I'm going to let all those expire, if I'm going to roll them out, or if I'm just going to let them get assigned, depending on how the market's doing. So my first question, when do I determine if I'm going to roll the position? Generally, the day the contract expires is my preference. So they always expire on Fridays. So usually I wait until that Friday to roll the position farther out to another Friday a couple weeks away. The only reason I would roll it out a day or two early is if the market is highly favoring that direction. So if I'm selling a put, I'm agreeing to buy a stock for a predetermined price. So if the stock market is going way down, my premium is increasing, so I'm losing value based on what I've already collected. So I would not want to roll a put out early, but if I had a covered call that I did not want to lose, I would roll that out farther away. And then the opposite's true for selling a put. If I see the market's flying up and I don't want to be assigned a stock yet, I will roll it out a little bit. But that's the only reasons I would roll a position before expiration date. So I want you to see what it looks like to roll a position. So let's just pick Sunrun here, RUN. We clicked an open option. We hit trade and we hit roll position. Robinhood makes it really easy. So short put roll currently expires in 7 days. We're going to select a new position. And don't get intimidated by that. When it says new position, I am not changing anything else. I'm not changing the strike. I'm not changing anything but when I am agreeing to sell or buy the stock. So right now it expires the 14th, and the position is worth $13, or you see it as 13 cents. Let's say I want to roll it out to April 11th, a month from next week. and I have it for $6.50. It's currently valued at $52 per contract for a month from next week. So we would roll the position and we would collect $39. Here's the part that confuses a lot of people. That $39 is on top of what we've already collected from opening the original position. So if I collected $40 from the original selling put, if I roll this position, I collect another $39. That means I've collected $79 from the original position. So when I roll a position, I set it to a farther out expiration date, so that way I can collect another premium, as well as not have to stress about if it's going to be assigned, if I want to get assigned. It allows me more time to think. Like I always say, though, I never invest in a stock I'm not okay with owning. I just like to roll positions because in my eyes, it's easier to roll a position than a stock that I'm already in than try to identify a new play. So I prefer to roll the position over starting a new play. But that's just my preference. Now that my long-winded self has kind of broken down an explanation, I'm going to jump over to the Excel file so you can see an easy breakdown of what plays we've made, as well as a running total we have on the account. Okay, so here's our Excel file. As you can see, we collected $754.25 this week. A good week. We met our minimum of $550. We didn't do as well as last week. Last week we brought in $1,200, but the market was running down last week, which is pretty nice. We love that. So plays we made, as you can see in column A, those are the ticker symbols. Column B is the amount we collected, the credit. Column C is the type of play. DIV is dividend. Those are the dividends I collected. CSP, cash secured put. Rolled CSP, that means I rolled that cash secured put out, just like that example I showed you. I rolled those out. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cash secured puts were rolled this week. And then rolled CC, that's rolling the covered calls. I did not want to sell my shares of NEO yet, so I rolled them out another couple weeks, and as you can see, I collected $66 from rolling that position farther out. So again, I like to just keep the stocks I own and just roll those positions, generate income from doing that. I think it's easier, less stressful. I always say I never use a chart. I don't spend more than 5 or 10 minutes on any sort of play. I just like to make my moves and then live life, enjoy the free time, and invest in myself in other ways. So next thing I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you a weekly running total that we have on the account. So give me a second. Okay, so this is our running total for the last 7 weeks. I apologize I haven't gone farther back. It just takes too long I make so many plays every week, as you can kind of see. It takes way too long to go through and calculate the credits we've collected each week. And Robinhood's report does not do a great way of showing or laying out the credits collected on their reporting services system. So I just went through and calculated myself. So as you can see, from 119 the whole way through to 3/7, 7 weeks roughly, we've collected $5,850. That is $835.79 averaged per week. That means if I took that $5,850 divided it by our 7 weeks, we would get $835, and that's how you determine your average you've collected each week for the last 7. So that's a nice part-time income, $835 on average a week. Last week was a pretty big week, that $1,200, again, down markets. Unfortunately, last year, fortunately or unfortunately, depend who you are, last year there was no real down weeks, so it was hard to collect that much money. But when we have down weeks, I love it, and I jump in and collect extra cash. And as the saying goes, be greedy when others are fearful. When there's a down week and I can sell options on stock I want to own for an even cheaper price with a better premium, I'm going to do it in a heartbeat. So as you can see, pretty easy way to make a couple of bucks each week. I don't spend tremendous amounts of time in the market at all. I don't enjoy doing things like that. I enjoy talking with people and, investing in myself in other ways, starting businesses, and, enjoying life and all that it offers. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more about selling options from an educational purpose, I do have a Fiverr. I will put the link in the description. I'd love to chat with you. We can talk about your goals and what you're shooting for with trading. There's one more thing I want to talk about, and I apologize, I forgot. I'm going to jump back over before I let you go. So ULTY, it's one of those high-yielding dividend funds, and before I even talk about it, remember what I always say, you will generate more money selling options with more diversification and less risk than investing in these high-yield dividend funds. That being said, I am reinvesting the dividends I collect into select of these YMAX funds, select ones. So I picked ULTY to invest in. It's really been running down, as with most stocks, the last 2 weeks. And I get a nice $139 payment coming from it this week right there, $139. So I ended up buying another 15 shares of the stock today. And I'm going to buy probably another 15 shares of this stock on Monday. I'm going to try to get it up to 400 shares. The reason I'm doing it is I believe ULTY has a little bit more flexibility than the other YMAX funds, as well as they are going to weekly dividend paying this coming Friday, as I saw on Twitter, and a couple people have validated it. Now, will they actually pay out? I don't know. Will it be a good payout? Probably not. But a weekly payer that I can just reinvest into itself to watch it grow, I'm okay with that. But I am not by any means advocating for these funds. I'm, as a whole, not a fan. But I do think ULTY has some upward potential. Its down markets really hurt the way it's set up, especially when you're, selling calls and puts, especially when you're selling calls. When it's a down market, you are not collecting much of a premium. So I do think I'm going to reinvest dividends into this stock to see how we go for a couple of weeks or a couple of months on their monthly payers. But I had to bring you back in there to let you know I did buy a few more shares of that. Other than that, I don't have anything else, and I won't hold you, and I'll see you in the next one.